made a Johanson model, VECM model for time series data with mixed order of variables. Previously, VECM model was available in other softwares, which was specifically designed for I1 means non-stationary variables in time series data. But a recent development of the library named mixed VECM, which I'm going to use here, can do so the vector analysis where there can be multiple dependent variables uh, to do a long run relation, and it can estimate at mixed order of variables. So I will start with the library. So we import NumPy, Pandas, Matplotlib, and stats modeler. So NumPy is for number handling, Pandas for data handling, Matplotlib for plots, stats model for statistical analysis, and this mixed VCM and other tests are imported from uh, mixed VCM library. So you have to install mix VCM using pip install method in your Python before loading this library. So we'll generate a synthetic data using this command generate mix VCM data 200 observations, 6 variables, and number of I1 variables are 4, number of co-integration 1, and seed 42. So here, ideally in the library, it is mentioned as 2. So we'll start with 2. So shift plus enter, it will load the result data and it will convert it into Y matrix. So, and convert it into a DF. Now you can see the head. You can see the first 5 observations, and then describe. You can see the descriptives of the data, and then you can also see correlations using this. Okay, now we go towards plotting. So df plot all the variables using tight layout and plot show. So you can see all of the variables in the time series setup. So if your variables have names, it will show names here. So it can see how the signals are changing. So if you compare variable 1 with others, so you can expect the positive and negative relationship by comparing their movements. Okay, now we move forward. We look at the Dickey-Fuller test. So I will load this library. It will know the Dickey-Fuller test for all the variables and give you the p-value. So when it will be loaded, it will show you the results here. As you can see, we have the p-values for 6 variables, and all of them are more than 0.05. It means they are indicating that these variables are non-stationary by nature. Now we run the Johanson test. So it has been done in the background. Now we start with the co-integration test. So when I run this, you can see the critical values are mentioned here and the test values are here. The first value is bigger than the critical value. The second is bigger than the critical value, but others are lower than the critical value. It means only 2 hypotheses are accepted. It means there are 2 co-integration relationships, not 6. So this way you can confirm the number of co-integration relationships. Then we fit the ECM model using this command, and then you can show the results. So I will give you a brief interpretation the model. So I have already shown you the trace statistic, but this command is not giving you the other eigenvalue test because it's saying that the variables have a little high correlation. But if there is no high correlation, it can also give you the eigenvalue statistic. Now I will print the model summary, model results, I mean. So let me make it full screen. So we'll start with details. So there are 197 observations after adjusting for the lags. So 3 lags are used and 6 variables. These are the names, names of the variables. All of them are I1, none of them is I0. There are 2 co-integration relationships. This is the log likelihood value for comparison and AIC, BIC for comparison with other models. These are the two long relationships. So EC1 with 1 means this is a dependent variable in the first model, and this is a dependent variable in other model. And then you can see their coefficients. So it means variable 5 and 6. Uh, so when you adjust for the movement of dependent variable on the other side, so the coefficient values will be switched. So variable 5 and 6 have positive effect on variable 2, and variable 5 has a negative effect on variable 1. Variable 6 has a positive effect on variable 1. So this way you interpret. Then this is the speed of adjustment. It should be negative so that it shows that there is convergence, otherwise there is divergence. Then you can see the long run relationship, long run pi matrix. So what does it represent? So in the long run pi matrix, what you can see that there is a negative effect of variable 3 and 4. You can have a look, minus 2.11, and variable 4 is okay. So since we have only two dependent variables, variable 1 and variable 2, we can only interpret these two lines. So you can see these two have a negative effect on variable 1. Okay, and variable 6 has a positive impact. So here I switch the interpretations, and then you can also see the variable 6 negative here but positive here, and this coefficient is converted. Why I give you hint here but not give you actual value. Actual value is this one after switching the coefficient and multiplying it with the convergence coefficient. So that is this number. Okay, so this multiply by this will become this. So if you want to check, let's open a calculator here. So here 3.5932 into 0.6835, say 2.455. So this is almost this after adjusting for the, what you call it, rounding. Okay, because it's only 4 decimal, but the model is way longer, so values might be little different. Okay, let's move forward. This is the residual coefficient. So covariance matrix. So bigger the number means they were they were related to each other in terms of their movements, and which is explaining why we need to do the VECM model. If they were very low, we could have estimated AARDL model separately. So let's go to other model. Then you can go for quantity. This already printed here. You can start. You can see the details are here. Now we can present the impulse response results. Impulse response plot. So it gives shows the impulse response result. Then you can present the impulse response function graph. And then you can see how each variable is affecting other variable in this plot. Okay. For example, if I compare, I want to pick the variable which has clear variation. For example, variable 3 shock on variable 3, you can see it start to increase after a few time periods. Okay, variable 4 shock on variable 3. There's some variation, but then it goes to a higher value. So this way you interpret the variations. This horizontal line is 0. So if it is moving away from that, it means they have a significant shock effect. Then we have the variance decomposition formula, forecast error variance decomposition. Okay, so this plot also shows you how each variable contributes in each model. Okay. For example, in model variable 2, the variable 2 itself has a long contribution. In variable 1 itself a big contribution. For example, in variable 1, variable 5 has second biggest. This way you can find how each variable contributes to each other. So this is the discussion of how to estimate mixed order VECM model in Python. I hope it will give you a brief overview. You can see the library again, how to load. So you have to install this library so that you can load this and then perform these functions. Thank you very much for watching.